being underway
بسبب تلوث الهواء.
hazardous pollution.
Ambiente implementará nuevas
Yeni santrallerin yapımı
Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard. I am here to speak for the countless animals dying across this planet because they have nowhere left to go. I am afraid to go out in the sun now because of the holes in our ozone. I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I used to go fishing in Vancouver, my home, with my dad, until just a few years ago we found the fish full of cancers. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct every day, vanishing forever. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up in a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say. Well, what you do makes me cry at night. You grown-ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please, make your actions reflect your words. Thank you.
This project aims to redesign a residential community from a comprehensive sustainable perspective to enhance the community's sustainable performance. The selected residential community is called Al Zahia, where it is located in the Emirate of Sharjah, UAE. The community's total area is 1 square kilometer, where the residential land use occupies 52% of the community's total area. Green spaces only occupy less than a third of the total area, while the remaining area is allocated for the community facilities and road networks. Urban design is a process consisted of 3 phases, and in this project we use a methodology that fully covers the 3 phases of urban design. The first phase of urban design is called understanding, where the urban designer tried to understand the current situation in order to have a better insight during the design process. The first step towards understanding the current situation was conducted by collecting all the relevant data from the project's consultant. The next step was conducted by analyzing different aspects of the current situation. First, we conducted the site analysis in order to identify the current road networks around the site, also surrounding activities or investing. After that, we used different applications to identify the site's climatic conditions, where we highlighted the most important climatic facts that will be addressed in our design, such as sun path, temperature and sky coverage range, wind velocity and wind direction. Exploring is the second phase where urban designers engage with all stakeholders to identify the design inputs. In step 1, the inner charade. This included discussions of previous projects and concepts. Also, a link was proposed which connects the 3 chosen phases of Al Zahia community. Phase 4 will be our project scope. Analysis results of the land use budget for the base case are: the residential land use occupies almost 55% of the project, while the green spaces are only 9.3%. The total number of residential units in Phase 4 is 238. Similar to environmental parameters such as air temperature, wind speed and flow, humidity, and surface temperature by using Element software. Simulation was conducted on a peak day between 11 am and 4 pm. All values along with the gradient value maps were recorded for each hour. Wind flow patterns were also analyzed to evaluate the natural ventilation conditions. The dominant wind direction is north and northwest, which should be considered in the design. Moreover, the surface temperature in the base case was analyzed to identify areas for improvement. Stakeholders' engagement was done by the use of questionnaires in English and Arabic to identify their feedback. It consists of 23 questions covering 3 sections, which are general information, community information and perceptions, and sustainable transportation. Total sample size was 72 participants, and all responses were analyzed and illustrated.
In the deciding phase, the urban designer developed all the design criteria into strategies which will be implemented later into the design concept. Sustainability has 3 major pillars: social, environmental, and economic. In order to achieve a sustainable design, the area between the 3 pillars should be targeted, which means that all the design strategies should be emerged from these 3 pillars. For the social pillar, we targeted the following objectives: health and well-being, equity of access to community facilities, social satisfaction, and designing for a livable community. For the environmental pillar, our objectives are effective land use and proper building footprint area, generating electricity where it is needed, sustainable building design, and sustainable transportation. Finally, within the economic pillar, we aim for stakeholder satisfaction and viability. After considering all the previous design inputs, we designed the optimized case where we managed to decrease the residential land use area to become 30.6% and increase the green spaces to 36.6%. Although the total number of the residential plots was reduced, but the vertical expansion increased the residential unit to 652, where we replaced the townhouses with G+4 buildings. For each of the previous objectives, we developed a strategy to achieve it. To promote for a healthy lifestyle, our first strategy was to increase the right-of-way from 15.4 to 25 meters, adding cycling and jogging lanes, shaded pedestrian network within the community. For the second and third objectives, our strategies was distributing community facilities according to their coverage areas and allocating additional community facilities to support the project residents. For achieving the livable community, we allocated open public spaces within the urban fabric to promote for social connectivity and public gatherings, while we also ensure to enhance outdoor thermal comfort within the open spaces by using design elements such as vegetation, water features, and shading fixtures. The fifth objective was achieved by maximizing green areas such as the parks and pocket gardens and minimizing the building footprint by implementing the vertical expansion. Generating electricity where it is needed will be achieved by using building integrated photovoltaics and roof-mounted PV panels. For the objective of sustainable building design, we used passive design techniques such as optimizing the plots and building orientation to minimize the solar gain, tunneling the wind by narrowing and expanding entry and exit point to maximize the wind speed. For the sustainable transportation objective, we introduced a new concept to the community named the Park and Ride, which is a multi-story solar-operated car park building located at the community entrance. The residents park their conventional cars inside and ride electric cars instead. Moreover, PV-operated car charging points were allocated throughout the community. For stakeholder satisfaction objective, we focused on increasing the residential unit, which was planned by the developer, from 238 units to 652, which will not only prevent any potential losses but also increases the investment value. And for the last objective, a viable sustainable community will steward other developers to work on the same line. This section will assess the optimized case to highlight the improvements in both of the design and the environmental parameters. As a result of implementing the vertical expansion within the urban fabric, we managed to save area which was used to introduce new elements to the design, such as the educational facilities and the park and ride building. While also we were able to increase the area of the green and open spaces, adding more mosques to cover the residents' needs, since the population of the community was increased by 3 times. Open and green spaces throughout the development have been increased by almost 4 times of the original amount. Moreover, in the base case, community facilities like retail, mosques, and the substation were provided, while the optimized case offered extra community facilities such as mosques, retail centers, district cooling, educational institutes, and the park and ride building. Narrowing the wind entry points and widening the exit points caused significant improvements in the wind speed within the community, with an average increasement by 0.73 meters per second. Also, the wind flow in the optimized case showed great improvements in terms of penetration, allowing a better natural ventilation condition within the community as a result of using the wind tunneling technique. Increasing the green spaces area and the shaded area by the G+4 building caused a drop in the surface temperature within the public and open spaces by 2.5 degrees Celsius on average. This section is a short movie which illustrates the optimized case design and highlights its features.